Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bargo devasya dhimahi Dhiyo yona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvah Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Pargore vasyani mahi Iyuyona prachodayat Om Bhurvuvasvaha 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 Tatsaviturvarenyam Pargore vasyani mahi Iyuyona prachodayat.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. You're welcome to turn off your video or change your username because we are recording this service for use on our social media, especially for our wonderful YouTube folks. You can find out everything that we're doing on our website, www.saccsl.org. We've got classes that will be posted shortly. We've got the first 6 months of our education catalog just finalizing. You can go find us on Meetup, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you want to be on social media, we're there. We especially want to welcome those of you who watch us on YouTube. There's a direct link to the YouTube channel from our website. So be sure you check us out if you haven't been on YouTube yet. Why don't we welcome each other by turning on our microphones and do a quick hello to everybody.
Hello to everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Namaste.
Hello. It's so wonderful.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hey, how are you guys? I love you. Hi, Jim. I think Reverend.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Okay. So it is a glorious Sunday morning, and we're all here together, and we are blessed by your being part of our community and part of our Sunday morning. So let's move into our invocation. If you will join with me in any way that you feel it feels right to you. But right now, we invoke the presence of the One. Actually, the presence is always present. What we are invoking is our awareness of that which is always present, the love that always enfolds us, the mind that always holds us. And this morning, I am awake and aware of everything, every person, every place, every word, every sound, knowing that I will hear exactly what I need to hear. I will feel the community in exactly the way that I want and need to feel community. I will be present for everything, and I will live in gratitude for all the people that come together to create this incredible Sunday experience for us. All the techies, all the speakies, all the singers, everything is blessed. And so it is. And now for our readings. Race suggestion is a very real thing, and each individual carries around him or her, or has written into their mentality, many impressions which they never consciously thought of or experienced. When we realize that the individual subjectivity is our use of the one subjective mind, we shall see that a subjective unity is maintained between all people, and that individual mentalities who are in sympathetic vibration with each other more or less mingle and receive suggestions from each other. This is the meaning of mental influence, which is indeed a very real thing. If fear is contagious, faith is doubly so. How wonderful it is to think that we can broadcast mental germs of confidence, of love, of peace, of joy, of goodwill. How wonderful to know that each of us can so influence our environment that everyone who steps into it will be benefited. And both of these are from Ernest Holmes this morning. And now it is my great joy to introduce both our guest speaker and our musician. Well, I'm going to start with the musician first because she's going to come first. Our musician is Heather Clark, a longtime friend of the Sacramento CSL. She first developed her love of music as a child singing in the youth choir at her father's church, and she's been singing ever since. Heather is a classically trained musician that's been touching the hearts of audiences and congregations throughout Northern California for more than 20 years, although it's very hard to believe it's been that long when you take a look at her. Heather has a reputation for effortlessly navigating different musical genres and conveying spiritual depth from unexpected places. We will enjoy her, and then we get to enjoy her husband, David Clark. Reverend David Clark is a minister of religious science who is also an experienced inspirational teacher, a musician, a blogger, and an avid runner, and he has traveled the world working in the software industry. The philosophies of religious science and science of mind have helped David achieve many goals in his life and do things he never believed he could. As a speaker, David skillfully dismantles complex spiritual concepts to reveal our eternal connection to God and to each other through his authenticity, compassion, and his immense sense of humor. He is delightful, and I know we will all enjoy him. So let us sit back and let Heather open our hearts.
Thank you, everyone. I'm really happy to be here today. The first song I'm going to sing is called Circle, and it's a song that was produced by Barbara Streisand. Some say the walls between us stand so tall. They don't see there's just one sun shining on us all. I say we each choose roles to call our own, but none of us is traveling through this universe alone. And this circle just goes on and on. It began before us, it will be here when we're gone. Yes, the circle just goes on and on and on, connecting our human
must climb. Different dreams, they color what we see ahead. But our lives are strung together on a common thread. And this circle just goes on and on. It began before us, it will be here when we're gone. Yes, this circle just goes on and on, connecting our humanity, joining me to you and you to me. Round and round and round and round we go. Round and round and round we go. Love and learn and change and grow. Round and round and round we go. And this circle touches everyone as it crosses every boundary underneath the sun. And this circle just goes round and round. It began before us, it will be here when we're gone. Yes, this circle, it just goes on and on and on. Someday we are bound to see, I'm joined to you and you to me.
Thank you, Heather. And good morning, good morning. And Heather, thank you for that perfect song. And good morning, everyone. It's good to be back. Yes, hello, it's good to see all of your shining faces. And Steph's kitty cat, I see, got up there for some music. So here we are. Here we are, November 14th, 2021. Crazy, huh? 2021, and it's already almost done. But here we are, and one of the great questions that I have asked myself, and that I've heard other people ask, is, do I matter? Does what I do make a difference? Does it make any impact out there at all? And it's very easy to look at television, look at the news, and see nothing but doom and gloom and all of your loving deeds and actions just falling into a black hole, never to make another sound. All this thing happens, all of it happens in a vacuum, and we're not really having any effect. Well, I can answer that question for you. Yes, we are having an effect. Yes, you do matter. You matter. And I've got proof. But before we get to that proof, I want to tell you about a little realization I made about myself. We'll see if maybe you can relate. I recently fell into a YouTube hole. Have you ever fallen in one of those? It's when you go to YouTube for some simple instruction. You know, maybe you need a pancake recipe. You go out to YouTube, you go searching for a pancake recipe, and then you wind up watching videos about the military-industrial complex, or you get caught looking at panda videos. That's what I do. if a panda video comes up as a suggestion, I have to watch it. And then once I watch that one, I have to watch more. I love pandas. So you get what I'm talking about. You get into this, they call it a hole, because you keep falling into this and video after video keeps showing up. So I was in one of these YouTube holes and I found a speaker that I really enjoyed. It was about a subject matter that I was looking into and I really liked this guy. So I subscribed and I watched all of his videos. And they were all great. And I enjoyed them very much. But I noticed, just a couple of weeks ago, that I was having a conversation and I used a gesture that I don't normally use. It's this one. I don't normally do that. It's like, well, what? And then I was like, well, where did that gesture come from? Because I noticed me making a different move with my hands than I normally make. I was like, where did this come from? This was from that guy that I was watching on YouTube. When he was speaking, he would make this gesture. And when I watched him make the gesture, it all fell into all of what I appreciated about him. I appreciated his delivery. I appreciated, how he told a story. And so I guess his gestures are one of those things that I admire. And so I picked it up and I started using it, and I didn't know that I was doing it. And I was kind of distressed about it because I'm an original, right? I don't copy anything from anybody. All of my gestures are completely original and right from my brain. And, I don't go stealing things from other people. So I was kind of distressed about it. So I talked to Heather, and as I do about things that I'm distressed about, I was like, Heather, have you ever noticed that you've picked up a gesture from someone and you just started using it for your own? And Heather, quite plainly said, oh, yeah. We do that all the time. The human beings are constantly influencing each other. She said, that's how fashion works. I'm like, well, fashion. And yes, that's how it works. We are unconsciously picking up things, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously, picking up things from each other. And so, of course, my mind goes immediately to, oh, okay, well, I admired what he did. And so because I admired him, I picked up a trait and then I incorporated it into my being. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if it's wanted or unwanted. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. We're still picking it up. Okay? Heather told me a great story about the color teal. She has historically never liked teal. She hasn't bought a shred of teal clothing. She hasn't bought any teal anything, right? So, and this has been from way back. You know how there's certain colors you just don't like, and teal was one of those colors for Heather. Well, fashion comes around, and then you start seeing teal all over the place. Teal clothes, teal housewares, teal. I saw a teal, one of those KitchenAid mixers. I saw that in teal. So teal is like sweeping the nation. It's been doing that for, the past few years, right? So, of course, one day, the day rolls around when Heather buys a teal blouse. And she's looking at this blouse, is like, yeah, this is going to be great. And she puts it on, it looks great on her. But it's something that she never would have bought. She didn't like teal. And now she has bought a teal blouse. Okay? Whether we want it or not, whether we want to feel the effects or not, we're influencing each other. And we're influencing each other to a very, very deep degree. So that means that we have a mechanism within us that is solely dedicated to receiving messages, receiving energies, receiving feelings from each other. And not only is it responsible for receiving, but then it turns around and incorporates that into ourselves, into our actions, into what we do, into what we think. And all of this is happening behind the scenes of our conscious minds. We can call it subconscious. It's what our subconscious is doing. I like to call it receiver. I know what a receiver does. I'm football minded, so the receiver has to catch the ball. So we have a receiver within us catching messages, transforming them into actions. The interesting thing is that this mechanism is going 24 hours a day. It is churning around, and it is very powerful. It's doing things that we don't consciously know, and it's incorporating them into how we move. It is an extremely powerful mechanism. So why do we have so much of our mind dedicated to receiving signals, dedicated to receiving information from each other? The reason is because my theory on the reason is because our purpose is to communicate with each other. We are transmitters, and we are constantly transmitting how we feel about the world, how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about our day. We are constantly emitting this. And so we're also designed to pick up on those emissions, to receive those transmissions and relate to each other. So this is how we connect. This is how we become one. This is how we are one. None of us are separate from each other. So now the question becomes, or the answer is, we don't have to wonder if we have influence on each other. We do. We have a deep, deep, deep influence on each other. It's a divine influence because it affects us at every level. So it's not a matter of if you will affect the world or do you affect the world. The question really is how. How do you affect the world? And perhaps the most important question of all is, what kind of world do you want? As religious scientists, we believe in God, one existence. And that God is love. Love, light, beauty, joy, wisdom, power. God is all of these things in infinite abundance. So as God is spread through the universe, love is also spread through the universe. Love is also just as eternal as God, hand in hand. If there is God, then there is love. There is always God. So there's always love. I want to live in a world that acknowledges love more. I want to live in a world that is more loving, that is more open and accepting. If you want to live in this world too, if this is your vision of the world, then there's something we can do about it. It depends on what we put into the world. It's kind of like when we're cooking. It's all about the ingredients. Yeah, different ingredients can transform a meal. If you're baking a cake, you're probably going to use more sugar than salt, because that makes the kind of cake that you want. So if we want a world that is loving, kind, fair, joyous, then those are our blessed ingredients that we need to put into the world. So we can exude love kindness, fairness, openness, equanimity. We can live these ideals and we can exude them. Funny story about ingredients, transforming a meal. My father, one time we were really young. My mom was out on a trip. She had flown back home to Philly. She'd gone there for a month to have an extended visit with her family there. And so my dad was at home doing all the heavy lifting, doing all the cooking and all of that. And he was a decent cook. You know, he knew what he liked and he knew how to cook what he liked. One of the things that he liked was liver. He loved it. I hated it. Liver was not and we would buy these things in bulk because we shopped at the commissary. It's a military, it's on-base grocery store. So all the food was kind of cheaper there. And I don't think we paid taxes. So we would do these big, huge shopping trips to the commissary and then put everything in the freezer. In the morning, we knew what we were having at night because my mom would take out the meat, set it out to defrost, and we knew what we were going to eat. So you wake up in the morning, you look at the kitchen table, there's a liver. All right, that's tonight's meal. There's nothing I can do about it. Back in the old days, kids didn't have a say about what they ate for dinner. This might come as a shock to you, but we didn't have a say. You know, my parents knew good and darn well I didn't like liver. But did they care? No. They just cooked it up and put it in front of us and threatened us to eat it. So we did. So the liver is out. Grown, right? My dad's cooking liver. Okay, great. So we go to school. We come back. Dad's fixing up the meal. He serves it. We start eating the liver. This is the best liver I ever had. I mean, it's good. It's got flavor that we had never tasted before. Me and my brother were looking at each other like, this is good. We're like, when we're eating it up. We don't know what the difference is, but this is better than what my mom makes. So fast forward to my mom coming home. She had a great trip. We are very happy that she's home because we don't have to eat the same 2 or 3 meals every day. We're all on that. And so we get home and my mom's like, well, how did everything go? And he's like, well, you know, it went great. You know, I fixed liver and the kids really liked it. And, you know, they really enjoyed it. She goes, oh, did you find the new flour that I had opened up? He goes, oh, no, I just used this stuff that was down here in the cabinet. And she said, well, what stuff? And he pointed to a big white container. He goes, yeah, it was that, you know, because you take the flour, you dip when you fry it, you dip it in flour and then you fry it. Well, she said, well, that's not flour, that's powdered sugar. And he was, oh, now it all makes sense. That's why the liver was so tasty. All we did was change one ingredient and it transformed the entire meal. And it gave me a fun story that I can come here and tell you about. My dad was mortified. He was like, oh, sugar. And he didn't realize it throughout the cooking process. I had to clean up the kitchen. And when I cleaned that pot that he fixed the liver in, it was like it was stuck with molasses. And I couldn't figure out, I was like, God, why is it so difficult to clean? It's because I was cleaning up molasses. So that's just one example of how changing one thing can change everything. The same is true about what we transmit from ourselves. Our energy that we have, that we walk around with, is meaningful. People can feel it. It changes how you react. It changes what you do. And it changes how people relate to you. So I've got some homework for you. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. 7 things that we can do to use our divine influence, to refine our divine influence, because you don't want to put bad out into the world. You don't want to emit negative energies, because guess what? Those have an effect. They affect people. They affect your world. And if you want a really nice, tasty plate of liver, then we've got to figure out how we can put more sugar in it. So I got 7 tips. Number 1, know the truth about God. God's ever-presence, God's perfection, God's infinite ability to love. And that is present at all times, in all places, everywhere. Everything is made of God's love. So we don't have to wonder, is like, oh, is my love supported by anything? Just like our money is representative of the gold in Fort Knoxville, it used to be. Our money is representative of the gold in Fort Knox. Our love as individuals is represented by the love that is God. So it carries weight. It does things. So always remember your source. If you think you're going to run out of love, you have an infinite source and supply. So that's number 1. Know the truth about God and your connection to God. Number 2, love yourself and your story. Very important here. You are a triumph. I don't care who's watching this, when they're watching it, how they're watching it. I'm talking to whoever is on the other side of this screen. You are a triumph. After everything you've been through, after everything that's happened to you, your entire life's adventures and misadventures, after all of that, here you are. You survived. You not only survived, you found yourself here in a loving community where we explore the possibilities of our mind and at how we are together going through life. You have found a philosophy that works for you. You've not only survived, you have thrived. I know that there have been mistakes. I know that some unfortunate things have happened. But all of that goes into the person that you are today, the beautiful, loving person that you are today. You won. Love yourself. Love your life. Love your story. All of it. The more we can do that, the more that we can show a love and a tenderness and a kindness toward ourselves, the more we can show to other people. Think of yourself as a love laboratory. Okay, this is the love laboratory here. This is a love proving ground. If you can love all of this, then loving people outside of you will be much easier. Being tolerant of people outside of you will be much easier the more that you can be tolerant, love, and embrace the totality of what you are. So, love yourself. Number 3, be yourself. Be your kind, authentic, beautiful self. Love yourself and be yourself. That's all you need. Number 4, be curious. Be curious about other people's attitudes, about other lifestyles, about other worlds outside of your own. Be curious. There's a lot of different ways to live this life. There's an infinite number of ways to live this life because each person that has walked the planet has lived life in a different way, in a slightly different way. So be curious about other people. You may find love where you didn't realize love. You may find connection. You may find yourself. And that takes us to the next thing. Number 5. Find yourself in others and find others within you and let compassion live in you. You see someone on TV, this is a pet peeve of mine, and it's easy for me to go to compassion, is when you see on the news, stupid criminals. Stupid criminals. Oh, look at this guy, stupid criminal. He was trying to break into a place and he fell through the ceiling and he's on the floor now and he's there because he's just a stupid criminal. We can't write off anyone. I look at that person and I think, man, what did they have to do? What are they going through now to be in the position that they're in? How did this happen? And then my compassion takes me out of a place of judgment. Then I'm just compassionate and I'm lovingly looking at someone else, knowing the best about them and knowing the best for them, rather than just ridiculing them and knowing the worst. And my well wishes emit from me. My blessings that I have for other people, they emerge from me. They have an impact. Number 6, practice listening without judging. Judgment is the thing that makes us, judgment is a beautiful excuse for separation. That person's not like me. That person's dumb and I'm smart. I would never fall for such a thing. The thing is that the soul, the internal perfection that is in that other person is the exact same perfection that is within you. We're identical. Spiritually, we're only separated by our different conditions and our different circumstances. But underneath all conditions, we're together. Lastly, number 7, make the choice of kindness. Kindness is a choice. There have been times in my life when I have felt low, alone, unworthy, lost. And it was kindness that helped me through. And it was that a lot of times it'd be the kindness of a stranger, a kind word, a kind look, a sympathetic ear, striking up a conversation with somebody in a supermarket line has made my day. You have that impact. I'm not saying you have to go and strike up conversations with random strangers if that's not what you want to do. But if you have an attitude of loving kindness towards everyone, that alone is a blessing to the world, the way it exudes from you. So that's your homework, real simple, huh? I'll recap very briefly. Number 1, know the truth about God. Number 2, love yourself and your story. Number 3, be your authentic self. Number 4, be curious. Number 5, practice listening without judging. Number 6, find yourself in others and find others within you. And let compassion rise within you. And lastly, number 7, make the choice of kindness. We have that choice at our disposal at all times, and it is powerful. It is a powerful tool. So use that kindness. What are you transmitting to the world? The world is listening, and the world is responding. So let's take that into prayer. And it's here from this place of peace as we go within beyond the realm of our outer senses, beyond the realm of our conditional world, as we go deep within ourselves, deep to that place that's beyond all condition, that place that can't be touched by the outside world, that place of peace and solitude, that place of rest and rebirth and creativity, to that place where there's nothing to judge and everything to love. And it is from that place that we declare that there is one spirit, one mind, one consciousness, one existence, one love. And as there is only one, we could only be part of that one, made by that one, containing all the love, all of the power, all of the beauty. We have access to all of those godly qualities. And what's more, we have access to share those qualities with each other, to share those qualities with ourselves. And through our loving, divine influence, we share them with each other in everything we say, in everything that we do, in everything that we think, in everything that we believe. We are sharing, we are influencing, we are helping, we are teaching, we are living, and we are loving. And I know that these words are true, and I'm so thankful to Spirit for putting in me a mechanism for communication that does not cease. I'm thankful for an ear that always listens. I'm thankful for loving transmissions coming in from everywhere. And I'm thankful to know all this and thankful to release these words, to have a mind of the universe that I can release these words into. I am grateful, knowing that as I release these words, as I release these cares, they are acted upon immediately by a loving universe. And that loving ripple goes on and on and on. And so let us all release these words with that same confidence, with that same expectancy of manifestation and result, with the words, and so it is. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So for my second song today, I'm going to sing Go Light Your World. One of the added incentives of always singing when David speaks at a church is that he helps me pick the song, so they match up perfectly. So this is a song you probably know. It's by Kathy Tricoli.
There is a candle in some bright and burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites the candle, and makes its home. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he tries to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds the candle without a flame. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and worn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. We are a family whose hearts are blazing. So raise up your candles, light up the sky. We stand together in times of trouble. Make us a beacon in a darker time. Carry your candle unto the darkness, seek out the helpless, deceived and bored. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light the world. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle, you want to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Thank you.
Yay, Ruth. Well, good morning. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Clark, Reverend Clark and Heather. Thank you. And it's our offering time, and what we're offering are those 3 great opportunities for you to give. And one is through PayPal or Square, and you can see on your screen our website at www.sacscsl.org, or you can mail a personal check to our address also shown on the screen. And thank you again, YouTube audience, for your wonderful donations. And don't forget Amazon Smile. Sign us up for your favorite charity, and we get a little feedback from that also, and we appreciate it. Thank you. And now remain muted as we say our abundance affirmation. Abiding by the law of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as an ever-expanding infinite good. And so it is. And now we have our prayer request. Please join us in prayer and online. We take in prayer requests and we love to pray. And that's to our website at www.sacscsl.org. And also in fellowship, we give a gift of 5-minute powerful prayer treatment. So join us in fellowship for that. And it's very private and confidential. And here's our latest news by Reverend Patricia Van Wopken, our Associate Minister. Thank you.
Boy, oh boy, do we have events and news for you. The biggest news, of course, is our brand new home at the Citrus Heights Community Center. We're having our grand opening, but there's going to be a candle lighting service on the 19th. That is going to be phenomenal. It always is. We have a wonderful service, and it is personal and inspirational. But before that, before we have the hybrid in-person and Zoom candle lighting service, we're going to have a live and in-person open house on December the 4th. That is just going to be phenomenal, because in addition to us getting together in our new home for the first time, we're going to have a silent auction and a cookie exchange. Now, we'll send details about how to do the cookie exchange in this new world of COVID, but I'll guarantee you the cookies are going to be scrumptious, and you're going to want to be there to bring yours and to share with the others. And the silent auction is already becoming a amazing number of fabulous things to bid on. And I think that the money from the silent auction, at least part of it, is going to go towards us getting a permanent home of our own. So it'll help build our building fund. But until then, we are going to enjoy the community center. Now, when you come for the open house, bring your t-shirts and boxer briefs and socks and hats and gloves and everything that you have been collecting for HEART, the homeless assistance resource for the Citrus Heights. I know that the Warm Hearts Busy Hands is making hand crocheted scarves. So you can bring those too on December 4th at our winter celebration. And Warm Hearts and Busy Hands will be meeting this Monday. We're meeting the first and third Mondays in November and December because of the holiday schedule. So it's actually going to be this Monday. So bring your coffee or tea or whatever, and whatever your craft project is, and come join us. We have been serenaded recently by our own Connie with her harp. So it is a wonderful time of busy hands and warm hearts and conversation and music. Please join. And Margie will be here for our affirmation.
Thank you, Reverend Patricia. And how wonderful it is to broadcast my mental dreams of confidence, of love, of peace, of joy, and of goodwill. How wonderful to know that I can so influence my environment that everyone who steps into it will be benefited. Yeah, I like that. And now, please remain muted as I say this out with this benediction of love. For I know today we are truly blessed by our guest speaker and our guest musician. And we are blessed with our director, our ministers, our practitioners, our members, our YouTubes, our just everything that we have. We're so blessed. And we take this throughout the week. And we know that with the 7 ways of being our authentic self is so true. And thank you, Reverend David, for that. And we're blessed, and we take this into the week, as I said, and so it is. And so it is.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. We